in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's our topic is not only current, but it's very, very relevant. And the topic is COVID returns, impact on examinations. But before I will go to the topic, I would like to inform you that today the world is observing World Hemophilia Day. World Hemophilia Day is an international awareness day for hemophilia and other bleeding disorders. It is held annually on April 17th, date of the birth of Frank Schanbel, founder of the World Federation of Hemophilia. Since 1989, World Hemophilia Day is the day the whole bleeding disorders community comes together to celebrate the continuous advances in treatment while raising awareness and bringing understanding and attention to the issues related to proper care to the wider public. Media conference with Lal Goyal hopes that more awareness and attention to these issues will definitely save many lives. Now, coming to our main topic, COVID returns impact on examinations. Examination is an educational assessment intended to measure a test taker's knowledge, skill, aptitude, physical fitness, or classification in many other topics. Examination may be administered verbally, on paper, on a computer, or in a predetermined area that requires a test taker to demonstrate or perform a set of skills. The second wave of COVID-19 has created havoc in the country, forcing the government to take strict actions to curb the outspread of the virus, where on the one hand, states are imposing restrictions, on the other hand, students are requesting the government to either postpone or cancel the exams. Well, several state boards such as Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, and I was told the UP and many others have postponed the board exams 2021. Now, CBSE has also taken the same decision. They have cancelled class 10 board exams 2021 and have also postponed the class 12 board exams 2021. As the state governments is taking steps to curb the spread of coronavirus, a list of those who have decided to reschedule the board examination, although this list is incomplete because every moment we are receiving that so and so has postponed the exams. But few of them are Council for the Indian School Certificate Examination, CISCE, on Friday, that is yesterday, decided to postpone the ICSC and ISC board examination scheduled to be held from May 4th amid rising COVID-19 cases. The COVID situation will be closely monitored and the deferment of the ICSC and ISC 2021 examinations will be reviewed and a final decision on the conduct of the board examinations will be taken. The council said while the class 12 examinations will be conducted at a later date, the candidates for the class 10 exams will be given an option to write the offline examination along with the class 12 candidates. They will also be given the option to not to write the offline examination. In light of the surge in COVID-19 cases, the government of India has decided to postpone the NEET, that is NEET PG 2021 exam, which was earlier scheduled to be held on April 18th, next date to be decided later. Now, when we say COVID returns, because there are the figures which clearly shows that the COVID has come back, and this time it is far more severe than the last time. On 16th April 2021, India registered, that is still yesterday, India registered 2,33,943 new cases of coronavirus, which has taken the country's cumulative tally past 1,45,21,000 cases. Yesterday, 1,338 lost their lives, thus total death due to corona raised to 1,75,673. Although these figures are the official figures, in media, in national media, every day it was shown that the figures which the states governments are showing are far less than the actual deaths. We cannot vouch for either the claims by the government or for the media, but we can very well say whatsoever is happening, even one death is as bad as 1,300 odd deaths. According to the health officials, India has administered till yesterday 11 crore 72 lakhs 23,509 vaccines doses across the country, which is far less even the 10% of the population. And this includes the first and the second dose. And the first dose approximately was administered only to 1% of the total population of the country. And as you all know, that this vaccine is good for 9 months or 1 year's time. So it means that next month from January, again, the persons who have been vaccinated, they require the vaccine from next year. So how we are going to cope up, that is a matter of worry, but that is a separate subject which we are going to discuss in our separate media conference. Now coming to the main topic, and that is the COVID returns impact on examination. We have a very, very elite, knowledgeable, learned, and those who are the leaders in this field, the panelists with us. And I would like to introduce and invite my first guest panelist, and he is Professor Dr. Ambrish Sharma. Professor Dr. Ambrish Sharma is the Dean of the School of Management and Commerce, Sanskriti University, Mathura. He is a multifaceted personage, excellence primarily in the field of education, besides being a poet, author, a black belt martial artist, and a great mountaineer. He holds an EPBM from the prestigious IIM Lucknow and a PhD as well as an MPhil in management. Professor Sharma has a vast experience of over 27 years in the field of education, comprising of more than 16 whole years in various business schools and universities across the country, ranging from Singhad Institute of Management, Pune, to Mangalyatan University, Aligarh, to Inmentech Business School, Ghaziabad, with roles in administering placements to preparing ISO certification procedures and heading the Department of MBA Marketing as well. Dr. Sharma also serves as a guest professor D.Y. Patil University, Pune, paper setters and thesis examiner for various business schools and universities from Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. He has his unprecedented hold in the field of marketing, advertising, management, rural service, marketing, and consumer behavior. He has authored over 15 research papers published in some of the most prestigious UGC care journals and also hold 2 published books in his account. He is professional member of Institute of Scholars, Mountaineering Club of Atal Bihari Vajpayee Mountaineering and Allied Sports, and the member of Technical Committee of Martial Arts Coaches Federation of India. Dr. Sharma loves to write poetry and indulge in social service and takes them up as challenge. Welcome, Dr. Ambrish Sharma, on our show. Dr. Sharma, as you know, the examinations of many schools, boards, colleges, universities have been postponed or cancelled by the state government, by the universities, by the central government. Now, we would like to know from you the COVID returns impact on examinations. Dr. Ambrish Sharma, please.
Lal Goyal, it is my privilege. I feel honored as you took me in the media conference as an expert. So, impact on examination or impact on the people, because examination is a system, or we can say organization. Ultimately, examination is an affiliation or provide the credit to the student that he has qualified, he has gone through this rigorous process. But because of this COVID pandemic, there are many examinations since last 1 year postponed or cancelled, or government, because of its problems because of its incapability or the havoc of COVID, they are not able to conduct examination. And it is important also because it is a question of life. Approximately 56 lakh students this year going to appear in the UP board examination. Among them, 29 lakh from high school. And in high school, these are the cancelled ones. Student will be promoted. A student may be happy, but sometimes they are not understanding how they will be treated after 5 years or 10 years down the line. It's a big question. Although it is also debatable since independence, we were trying to make more comprehensive an examination system, because this examination system does not complete and comprehensive to evaluate the students and many other competencies of the student. Because our examination system is still required a lot of reforms. But this time, this is cancelled. This is also cancelled. So this is again a very, very big question. If we talk about the Gurukul Paddhati in India, the examination happened throughout the learning duration. Gurus examine their student on various parameters. Although our CBSE and UP board examination or many other state board examinations are based on the theory. But for that theory examination, a student throughout the year, they prepare for that. And that's this examination across the globe, affiliate them, make them credible. Yes, you have gone through like that. But this time this is not happening. This is not happening means they will be evaluated or they will be promoted on the basis of their performance or their superficial informations about their knowledge, skills, and they will not be asked to put anything on the paper. Trainees also agreed that ensuring the safety of trainees, supervisor, examiners, and the public maintaining the validity of examinations and providing a constant examination experience to the extent this is possible. Time and again, mankind faces various types of challenges. Several disease outbreaks have happened. In the past, numerous lives were lost.
Professor Sharma, your face has gone down. Can you just bring the screen?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now it's
please.
okay, sir?
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I was talking about several diseases breakout have happened in the past. Numerous lives lost. In 2020, we were going through just another phase. One famous and very much popular in the globe, the havoc was created by COVID-19. Will it be controlled by one day? No. Even then, after 1 year or so or more, we are not able to control it. And when we say COVID return, it is now more severe. Till that time, this happens, we have to adjust our life according to it. The most important thing in this case, although we all asked or expected, ready for the changes, but COVID has not given us time to change. And we were not prepared for any such kind of havoc. On one fine day, all the college, institutions, organizations were shut down, and we have to work from home. We didn't train our students, we didn't train our teachers, we didn't train our college organizations, administration system, and technology. So in this case, everything we have to learn, and we affiliate it, we standardize it, and to develop a system, this kind of scenario is very much dangerous. So now we are learning online. It become new normal today. Although learning is happening in urban areas, it is possible. People are little bit aware, but the country is not urban now. Approximately 70% population living in rural areas, where their parents, even the students at rural background, they were not very much familiar with the internet and many other things which were expected to interact with the entire world. At the moment, it is difficult to ascertain the whole impact, especially I am talking about on examination. The student's life as well as are still going through it, a new problem are cropping with each passing day. Even that our panelists, they are also since last, I am also facing problem. Today I am not in office because of this. It may be, I may be corona positive. It is also possible. So it's a big challenge for every person who involved and every student, and also for educational institute to impact and continue with the studies. At this time, when touching someone means catching the life-threatening disease, we're not familiar. A student will have to show the discipline towards their life. As Mr. Lal Goyal already, at the time of introduction, said it is a duty of leaders and professors to demonstrate role models. But when we talk about examination, although examinations are very important, because this COVID will not long last for many years preceding. In this case, the student, those who promoted this year or previous year, will the industry, educational institution, corporate will treat them at par? This will be again a question. Or another remedy may be the organizations will ask them to go for another examination to make it at par, those who are promoted. Although government has given provision to those who want to appear in examination or those who are not happy with the promoting through this way, they can apply for examination as and when time permits, the situation permit, they will be allowed to appear in examination in normal fashion. The crux of the matter is we want to stay motivated at all times and keep making efforts in the right direction while maintaining utmost precautions. At times, the first is good health for everyone. Being livable, being healthy, it is also a kind of examination. So, with the universities or colleges having to adopt to the threat of COVID-19, what effect will this have on the examination process? During the early stage of pandemic, when the nature of coronavirus was still unknown, most universities with the decision to temporarily avoid all the persons to contact closely the campuses completely, or if we allow them to appear in examination, it will be a cost of life of many other. Every day we read or listen the news. These many students in the hostel of IIT and NIIT and many other institutions were corona positive. For many higher education institutions across the globe, this resulted the cancellation of upcoming examinations. Without a clear understanding of how coronavirus operated and the most effective measures to prevent its spread, collecting students into one room for a prolonged period was no longer considered as safe. However, examinations are a critical part of any education system, and it's a necessary step to providing students with accurate grades. When we are going to promote, this accuracy will be hampered. The grading of accuracy will be hampered. Even UGC cancelled crucial higher education examinations altogether, was simply not an option. The academic evaluation of the students is very important milestone in any education system. The performance in the examination gives confidence and satisfaction to the students, and that reflect competencies, performance, credibility that is necessary for global acceptability. So this is a big challenge. If the students are promoted without any examinations, will the globe acceptable? Will the globe accept, corporate accept? Or any other higher education institution of repute will accept? Although we expect certain flexibilities because of this pandemic, and online examination is also not very easy. This is also very crucial and difficult to monitor. Although it provides the ways to conduct examination online, since university across the world have followed examination on many other platform, many platform like MS Teams and many other Eklavya, many other platform where we can conduct examinations. But we are aware about it when the student appear in such kind of proctored examination. First of all, we cannot ensure the quality of answers from the knowledge of student, but at the same time, a student can easily go through the Google search or many other platform to find the answer. So conducting of examination, especially in case of country like India, we are not ready for this kind of system. Although by the time we can make such certain mechanism to conduct examinations, although there are many advantages of online examinations, especially in case of COVID duration. It is a new phenomena. So there is a lot of learning in regard to conduct online examinations. However, during a period where person contact come with many risks, online examinations are the great way to maintaining momentum in higher education and to ensure the learning process does not ground to the halt.
Okay.
There are also arguments that suggested that online examination will remain a key features of the higher education experience even after the worst of the coronavirus crisis. In process of making in-person examination is highly expensive, but online examination comparatively cost-effective. Conducting of examination may be cost-effective, but the output of the examinations or the quality of examinations will be a question again.
Okay.
Before,
Dr.
Hello.
Sharma, can we take in the next round this online thing which you are discussing now? Talking because we have to take the other panelist right now.
right, sir.
So
Right, sir. No problem.
next round will, yeah.
Okay, fantastic, sir. We will talk later.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sharma, for giving such a descriptive your opening remarks about the impact of COVID returns impact on examinations. And what Dr. Sharma has raised a very valid point. He says that in case if these types of exams are cancelled and they are promoted to the next standard, what will happen down the year 5 or 10 years afterwards when these students will go to the industry or the corporates? Will they accept them? Will employability will be...
Sir, actually, when I was talking to my son, he is studying in IIT Madras. So I asked him, tomorrow I am going to talk about examinations. What he said it will be very difficult for the people, those who promoted this time, how the corporate will treat them.
Yes, yes.
After, down 5 years or 10 years, people treat them in different way. Even then, when I'm talking about this thing, during 1991,
Dr. Sharma,
sir,
I will come to the point. Not 1991. It was in 1966. The high school examinations, the English was made optional in UP. and
Yeah.
it was not compulsory. It was in 1966, and for the high school. And those who passed there, and they were be termed that their English is weak. And for them, there was an option to give the exam in English. Although people, those who wanted, they have given the thing, but there was a tag, always a tag. Thank you very
Yes,
much,
there was a
Doctor.
tag, sir. That's
Yes,
the
yes.
tag.
Thank you very
So
much,
that is
Dr.
what
Sharma.
I wanted to say.
Yes,
That. Thank you,
yes,
sir.
yes. Thank you,
Thank you
Dr.
very much.
Sharma. So, Dr. Sharma, what he says is that about the employability of these students when they will be down the 5 or 10 years, after 10 years, whether the industry will, and that is a
Yes,
very,
yes, they
very
will be
important.
tagged like that, sir.
Yes, yes, very important
Yeah.
thing. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sharma. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Mr. KB Jad. Mr. Jad is a MA English, MAd, MBA. He is the principal of PRFS Birla Group Schools, Mathura. He is having 34 years teaching and administrative experience at Delhi Public School, Navodaya Vidyalaya, Aditya Birla School. He has attended several workshops, which includes leadership programs at IIM Ahmedabad, Wharton Business School, Penn University, US, Birla Management Center, Mumbai, Singapore Management University, Singapore, EFLU University, Hyderabad. Beside these, he has also attended several workshops organized by CBSC, NCERT, SCERT, HCU, Hyderabad, CIEFL, Oxford, Cambridge, Future Foundations, etc. He visited international schools in US, Singapore, Bangkok, Hong Kong. He was recommended for Aditya Birla Chairman Award thrice and awarded once. He was also awarded by HRD Minister for outstanding board results. Welcome, Mr. KB Jad, on our show. Mr. Jad, you have heard what our earlier panelist, Dr. Amrish Sharma, has mentioned. And he has given so much detail, so I need not to summarize again. But one point which he has made is that if we are cancelling this examination, we are playing with the future life of these students. Although many of the students or few of the students are happy today that they need not to appear in the examination, but after 5 or 10 years, when they will go for the job or for any other higher post, they will be tagged as a corona year student, and that is where they will not be able to get the job easily in comparison to the pre-COVID era or post-COVID era, which we don't know when it will come. So now we would like to know from you the COVID returns impact on examinations. Mr. KB Jad, please.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving this opportunity to share our thoughts on this very important and very sensitive issue, which is, COVID returns. I wish there was something more pleasant to return back, but this COVID thing has returned. It has, created. It is, last time it was the dark clouds, and this it seems to be the darkest of the clouds. But as they say, with every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. So let us hope that silver lining is there, and if it's not there, we'll have to explore it. Well, sir, as you know, this COVID-19 pandemic, it has really created the largest disruption of education in human history, affecting around more than 1.5 billion learners across the globe. And this has brought actually far-reaching changes in teaching learning process as well. We well, as far the traditional education practices are concerned, this online method of teaching and learning and assessment has changed the face of education completely. So the need of hour is to innovate and explore alternative education system and assessment strategies. While I think adapting to the new challenges, new changes, it is very important that there's readiness of stakeholders, which needs to be gauged and supported. There's no straight jacket or pedagogy for online learning or assessment. We cannot put everybody in one straight jacket. Everything has to be customized as per the requirement and the need. So the approach adopted to conduct online exams depends on particularly compatibility of learners. Now, as you talk about the recent development of cancelling examinations, when this debate was, getting the heat across our country, whether we should have exams for class 10th and 12th, and parents were in real tantrums, stress, how children will manage this exam with all these adverse conditions. But you see, at the end of the day, what is ultimately more important is the life, because exams will come and go, but life you get only once. So I think it was, everybody must have sighed, relief, a heave of relief when it was announced that class 10th exam is cancelled with some, conditions, and 12th class is deferred. So I think parents and educators heaved a sigh of relief for one reason, that it would be in the best interest of the health of a child. But at the same time, this calls for a lot of introspection, because you see, last time we thought maybe it's a 1 year issue, and then next year things will become quite normal and everything will be fine. And things perhaps started shaping up by, let's say, beginning of this year. But as with the onset of March, the things again started getting from bad to worse. So naturally, it gives us an opportunity to get into the thought process that how we can make our teaching learning process more broad based, and how our assessment can be broad based, and how it can be sort of a continuous and comprehensive, so that our promotion process does not depend merely on one particular exam which is conducted at the end of the year, and on the basis of that we decide whether the child is able to go to the next class or not, pandemic or no, not pandemic, no pandemic. Otherwise also this does not make much of relevance or sense to promote the child to the next class just on the basis of an exam which is conducted for 3 hours at the end of the year. So I think this teaching learning process, as well as this assessment needs to be more of broad based. Now, as you see, assessment, when you talk about assessment, there are two types of assessment. One is assessment of learning, and the other one is assessment for learning. Now, what we also call as formative assessment and summative assessment. Now, if you talk in terms of formative assessment, it's the assessment of a child, of a student throughout the year, which takes care of all the areas of learning, whether it is knowledge, whether it is your attitude, whether it is your skill, application part, analysis part. So why not switch to that kind of learning, which so that there's no hassle in case there's such a situation like this in future for whatever reasons. So we all, as schools, as education institutions, will be ready with our data and with our statistics and with everything, so that there's no issue whether the exam is going to be there, it's not going to be there. If you do these activities, for example, there are some formative activities like, to conduct a sort of research-based project, or you can have some investigatory projects, or open book system examinations, or assessments, assignments, which keep on happening throughout the year, and which really make a child to do a lot of research work. I think that itself is a lot of learning, which it seems to be much better than the learning which we do in a formal manner, or in a traditional manner. But as far this class, when you talk about the admission of such kind of students in future, this is a global phenomena. It is happening all across the world, and whether it is US or India or Australia, everybody is in the same boat. And as far class 12th exam is concerned, that has not been cancelled, because you see most of the admissions of for higher learning are based on class 12th examination, and nobody has cancelled that exam. It is just we have deferred it for some time till the situation improves, and definitely it is going to be conducted. There will be no relaxation in that. So I don't know how university exams and how the university admissions are going to be hampered with that, if we have. But as for 10th class examination is concerned, if you see the latest NEP, new education policy, in that also it is one of the proposals. There is no need of class 10th examination. It can be part of your school assessment only. So only one exam has to be there in the school life, that is your final exam, class 12, which will be qualifying exam for your universities, colleges, and other admissions. So that I think in the past also we have had this, when we didn't have 10th class board exams, when we had CCE pattern of teaching and evaluation, students were given an option whether they want to go for exam or they don't want to go for exam, whether they want to have home exam or external exam. So that didn't hamper in any way our admissions in higher institutions. Those students are also in IITs who did CCE They're also in, very good universities across the world. So I don't think we need to label them, or there'll be any need to label them, because there are some good institutions who are carrying on online classes which are as good as offline. Uh, so this it depends on the quality of your teaching learning process also, how serious and how earnestly you are running your online classes. But the fact of the matter remains that, you see, we cannot shy away from online teaching, learning, and assessment anymore. It may require a lot of improvement. We as a country, we have to invest in the infrastructure of online learning, or you have to make it a blended learning. We have to see that there's not much of digital divide. Now there's been rural and urban, haves and have nots. Now there are some families, for 7 students there is one mobile only. Parents take the mobile home, say office, and there's no particular gadget available for teaching learning. So that also we have to keep in mind. I know there are a lot of hiccups, but I think nothing comes without any hiccups or any issues or any problems. So what I mean to say is that, you see, like we used to people who had who didn't know how to read and write, they were sort of, labeled as illiterate. Now I think in the present scenario, those who don't unlearn and relearn, they'll be sort of illiterate people, because now the demand of the time is that we need to keep on learning, we need to upgrading ourselves. Now about a year ago, I couldn't even imagine operating an Android phone, because I thought, I may be doing something which may send message to someone and go. But now I am in a position to handle any of the conferences. So I think that is one of the positive elements of this pandemic. It depends how much some of our teachers who are on the verge of retirement, now they are, running Zoom conference and Zoom meeting. So it's a great thing to see. So we have to keep on growing with this. But as far this cancellation of examination is concerned, I think it was a welcome step from government for 10th class. And 12th class, in any case, it is not cancelled, it is just deferred. And no, I don't think any educational institution, any corporate sector should label students for this kind of happening, because it is because none of their fault. It is happening all around, and it can happen anytime in future. So that is how I will conclude my statements and my speech. And thank you very much for this opportunity once again. Thank you, sir.
And thank you very much. I must say that what you have mentioned, Mr. K. Bijad, that these students should not be labeled. Yes, you are right that they should not be labeled. But what Mr. Jad has made a very, very important point is that now the future or the present is the online education, because we cannot shy away when we don't know how many months or years this pandemic is going to continue. And secondly, what he says is the examination should be on a weekly or monthly or regular basis, not one examination in the final stage, because you have to assess the student every time, not by giving a 3 hours examination, the student can be assessed. And in many institutions, as he says, that the time has come when we are changing that pattern and we are assessing the students every now and then. So there is no problem if we are promoting them without a final exam. And he has mentioned about the National Education Policy 2020, where he says that only the final examination of 12th class is to be taken. But only my reservation is in that, Mr. Jad, is that exam NEP, which was introduced on 29th and 30th July 2020, is going to be implemented now. Is supposed to be implemented now from the primary thing, and the target is to be 2030, 35 of 2050, but we are still in 2021. So unless we would have not implemented that policy in wholly, we cannot say that all the students are going to be passed or promoted without examination. And second point which he has made is a very valid point, is about the urban and rural divide. Yes, it is there. So unless we will have not that particular infrastructure, the haves and have nots will definitely be there. We have to provide those things. So these are all many questions, but he says that it's a welcome move that the examinations have been postponed for the 12th classes and cancelled for the 10th classes. Only thing is now we have to see how the universities are going to accept those exams of after the 12th, because when the exams will take place, Nobody knows. There's a billion-dollar question, because nobody knows when this pandemic is going to end. Then only the physical examinations can take place in person. So let's hope that it should end fast. Thank you very much, Mr. KB Jad, for giving your very positive views about the impact on examination. Definitely, I'm going to ask some difficult question or simple question to you when I will
Thank
come
you very
next.
much.
Although I know that as a principal or as a teacher, you are supposed to ask the questions, but today I got that opportunity to ask some questions.
It's a learning program, so it is we learn from each other.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Jad. Now I would like to invite and introduce my next guest, and he is Dr. C.K. Manjunath. Dr. Manjunath is MS, MA, PhD. Dr. Manjunath is the Student Welfare Officer at Sri Madhwa Varadaraj Institute of Technology and Management, Udupi. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. This one line sums up Dr. Manjunath's career of almost 2 decades. A PhD from MIT Boston, MS from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, author of a maths book by Pearson's publication, an ardent researcher and an academician par excellence. He has dedicated 19 years of his career to achieving academic excellence and establishing a firm foundation for better education. He has completed his graduation in Information Science and Life Sciences, Masters in English Literature, B.Ed, an online course in Documentation and Information Science, and a program on effective leaderships in teaching, learning, and process training. Across his illustrious career, he has held academic and administrative positions in leading institutes, including Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management, Sahyadri College of Engineering and Management, Sadhguru Public School, the Yenopaya School and Yenopaya PU College, Hanuman Group of Institutions, and Vidyodaya Public School. He has done his he has completed graduation in Information Science and Life Sciences, Masters in English Literature, B.Ed, an online course in Documentation and Information Science, and a program on effective leadership in teaching, learning, and process training. Across his illustrious career, he has held academic and administrative positions in leading institutes, successfully hosting a science conclave where Nobel laureates and internationally acclaimed scientists were invited, serving as a guest faculty to young minds and contributing to building the academic talent pool have been the hallmark of his career. Receiving various awards and accolades are a testament of his deep commitment to furthering research and delivering academic excellence. Notably, among them are Young Scientist Award in 2003 and 2009 for outstanding work in IT relating to biomedicine. Best Teacher Award by Rotary and JC NGO while serving as founder principal of Vidyodaya Public School. He served as national level paper setter for JEE and NEET. He served as national level paper setter for JEE and NEET. He was the chief superintendent for 10th and 12th exams and entrance exams like JEE, AIPMT, and CTET of CBSE board. Observer for 10th and 12th exams for National Institute of Open Schooling. Guest faculty MBA program for Manipal Institute of Management. Managed outreach programs, PGID programs, and Literary Wall Club at Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management. An ardent researcher, he has authored and published articles and monthly periodicals, served as editor for Pearson's Publications, Universal Mathematics till grade 8, and Wiley Publications physics textbook on electrostatics and wave motion for grade 12. Welcome, Dr. C.K. Manjunath on our show. Dr. Manjunath, you have heard our earlier panelist, Dr. Ambrish Sharma, as well as Mr. KB Jad, and they both have given their views and opinions about the today's topic. Now, we would like to know from you the COVID returns impact on examination. Dr. C.K. Manjunath, please.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank the first two speakers. In fact, they have made my process very easy. See, when you become the last speaker, you will get more chance to say already people have quoted, I repeat the same. Or I just say it has already been quoted, so I don't have to say much about it. But it is definitely an enlightening discussion today we have. And I would like to thank Mr. Lal Goyal for giving us an opportunity to meet the eminence one side and to have this very important discussion on a very important event day. As Mr. Sharma and Professor Chad both pointed out two major dimensions about the impact on education, I would like to touch on the third part. See, basically now examination one side, as Mr. Chad said, it has to be taken up as one of the process of learning, but that is not ultimate. Now, my major version is the kind of confusions this exams happening or postponing or probably the delay in it or cancellation, all these has led various confusions and a kind of panic situation in the minds of parents actually. In fact, it is rather than students to say, the parents, they have got into the confusions. Now they don't know what need to be said about it, especially the student parents who are 10th standard now. When the boards say that exams are cancelled, their 9th standard journey was also in the same manner. And now the 10th standard journey is put into this. Now they have a huge question about the learning outcomes of these students. This is one of the points to be taken into consideration. Number two, it is about, as Sharma sir pointed it out, how society looks at these people. If you look at these two versions, there is a huge question on us. What are we trying to do? As Mr. Chad said, is it only the exam that takes all the decision on the student and say that the 3 hours examination and their results will finally decide about what the students need? See, this is the question which I have always put upon. Probably in my last 10 years of journey at various schools and colleges, I have questioned this at different platforms. Should we take up exam as the only criteria to evaluate a child? My only version is, if we can break open this concept of traditional rote learning process, I think we will have answers to this examination system. See, CBSE in 2010 had introduced a very beautiful pattern called CCE, Continuous and Comprehensive Evaluation. Now, in fact, they introduced it and they scrapped it, but it was carried into the universities. Today, if you take Rajiv Gandhi University of Medical Sciences or even many of the IITs, IIM, they all follow this pattern. See, there, as Mr. Chad said, it's the formative assessment that plays a role, because lot of dimensions are taken on a student to evaluate the scale of his abilities. What the child has, what are the qualities the child has, that is going to be taken into it, and that will be assessed in a very systematic manner. This will definitely create a beautiful milestone in the educational level of a child. But unfortunately, we are giving a lot of importance to the examination. That's why we have so much of panic situation that is arising. And one more aspect that need to be taken into consideration here is, are there best alternate methods? Like both the speakers in the beginning, they added a beautiful thing. I was always for a system of having digital open book examination pattern. We should have this, at least it is the right time now. We should insist upon this and we should go ahead with this. This will bring in definitely certain flexibility in our examination pattern, in our assessment pattern, in our learning patterns. But if we are going to go back to the same situations, in spite of these experiences saying that we will go by the old pattern of examinations, still we may have worse situations to face in the future days to come. So let's understand now and put a question to us. Is these examination patterns, are they going to be boon or a bane? This question needs to be answered by all of us. And I think the right time has come for us to evaluate or to relook upon ourselves and go ahead with this. See, I believe right now in looking at 3 processes. One is unlearning the learned processes of various systems that we have put in. And we need to take the decisions on how many processes of these we will continue with it, or we are going to change or bring in modifications in it. This is one thing that we need to work on. Number two, the early, regular, and transparent, effective communications that need to be assessed is to be taken as one of the major paradigms of our assessment. Unfortunately, we are not working on this. Number two, I'm also looking at the collaborative work on improving the well-being of a child. This also an assessment part. If we really work on these terms, I don't think, as Mr. Lal Goyal said and the other two speakers pointed it out, the 3 hours examination and the fear of that, whether to take up that exam or we are not going to handle, all this can be clearly answered upon. Now, coming to the part of the digital content that we have delivered in the last 1 year, there is a huge question that has been posed on us, because I have a lot of students every day coming to me saying, "Sir, you people conduct at the end of the year offline exams, but throughout the year you teach through online. Is your online classes effective? Have you questioned yourself?" This is one of the questions that I always get on my table. See, the problem here is online teaching and offline examinations have really created a huge mess in the students' mind. Now, this needs to be critically answered. Otherwise, as Mr. Sharma said, as Chad said, see, definitely the employers who are going to employ these students will raise the question about it. But if we are going to set right both the platforms in an effective manner, see, the online learning and the offline examinations, if these two are being managed in a proper manner by bringing in the right justifications to it, I think the answer to the employment can be clearly said about. Because universities have really taken beautiful decisions on creating flexibility for the student. See, they have clearly said, you can either go for online classes or offline classes. You can go for online exams or offline exams. Everything is being set for the campuses to take the decision based on the situations that arise in your particular locality or in your vicinity. Now, we need to be very crucial in making these decisions, because it is going to add academic credibility. It will develop the right career to the student and right opportunities. Probably the future progress also is decided based upon this. So if you are looking at the entire global scenario of all this, so exams and the results need to be handled in a very proper manner. Today, that's why probably Mr. Lal Goyal has taken up this decision of taking up this discussion in an effective way. But my one earnest saying here is the behavioral changes that has led in this particular discussions. See, when we started with the COVID pandemic part, I have a lot of cases with me which has really affected the behavioral patterns of the students, since we have taken them through the journey of online process for 1 or 1.5 academic years. In fact, the case studies, what I have handled is students have gone through anxieties, depressions, lot of other additional habits, like for example, many have got into the alcohol part because of sleeplessness or various other such issues. All these today have become the parameters of this particular issue, and government has looked at all these factors while taking up the decision on examination, connecting it to the COVID situation. To tell you frankly, International Association of Universities, they conducted one survey on the students at 109 countries. And the students' responses were taken about the examinations and the impact of COVID on them. Many students have quoted in their responses very clearly, we are not happy with the learning that we have gone through, the online learning. So we request even our assessments or the examination shouldn't be done in the offline mode. We want us to be completely scaled based on the learnings that we have done. Now, my only worry that we have here is we don't have the right assessment tools today to assess our online pedagogy path. We have dealt it because, as Mr. Sharma said and Mr. Jad said, this is a first-hand experiences that all of us were exposed to. In fact, as he rightly mentioned, people who are at the verge of retirement, now for them, Zoom was itself like it was Zooming their life. Many had a difficulty. They went into the classroom and they were asking, am I audible? Is my screen seen properly? Is my slides shown to you properly? Can I share the details in an effective manner? So all these fundamental questions was something like a laughing stock at the end of the day. Because one side, it completely estimated our ability of the IT skills or technical skills that we all had about. But whatever it is, see, we have already gone through this journey, and we have now, I can say that, ascertained ourselves, knowing the limitations of this technology, one side, the learning styles on the other side, and third is about the examination. All these three phases in the last 1 year, we have gone through. Now, the decisions to be made is, how will this result on the future of a child? So that is the place where we all need to sit and take a decision. Here, the boards, universities, the academic decision makers, principals, the parents, the students, all of us have to get together and take up a thorough brainstorming sessions. Probably Mr. Lal Goyal also can be part of this kind of discussions to make the right decisions, because it is not on the decision of examination that we need to take a decision here. It is to be on the life of the child, on the health part of the child, on the effectiveness of the child, on the confidence of the child. See, these are all the areas on which we need to work on. So my earnest request is, probably this can be a beginning platform for all of us to relook about the examination and the decisions that are made after the examinations. So I feel the best solution for all this is, let's have an open platform. As I said, the digital open book examination as one of the solutions. So many of the e-examination patterns can be taken up here, or many of the formative assessment tools can be used here. See, multiple choice questions, we have online answering, examination structures. So let's look through various patterns and take a final call on finding the right decision for the child, because I believe in each child is unique. See, every child on the earth has a right to live in the same manner how the meritorious kids look at it. And in fact, my voting is always to the last benches, because even I was a last bencher in majority of my academic credentials. So I support them quite a lot. So looking all these perspectives into consideration, I request that we need to take the right decision on the word of examination. We should not go by a single word or a bias, which will lead to the lot of injustice onto the system. So I thank everyone for giving me an opportunity. Probably I might be more
Okay.
So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manjunath, for giving your views. And one point which he has made a very, very interesting point. He says all the stakeholders who are in this education process should be taken, and they must discuss, do the brainstorming and take a proper decision. After all, we are playing with the life and the future of our young generation, the youths. And if we are not doing it, only somebody is taking a decision, it may not be good for this youths or the children. So one has to take the decision in that way. Thank you very much, Dr. Manjunath. Paucity of time, so I will not be able to summarize more. But yes, you have made a very good point. I am sure that our leader leadership, the universities, vice chancellors, the doctors, or those who are helm of the this particular field, they may take a decision with all the stakeholders, including the parents also and the students also, who can contribute their own suggestions. Now, I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Mr. Sandeep Kulshrestha. Mr. Sandeep Kulshrestha is MPhil B.Ed. He is the PGT Biology at Gyandeep Shiksha Bharati Senior Secondary School, Mathura. Welcome, Mr. Sandeep Kulshrestha on our show. Mr. Sandeep Kulshrestha, you have already heard our earlier guest panelist, Dr. Amrish Sharma, Mr. K. Bijad, as well as Dr. C.K. Manjunath. Now, we would like to know from you your views on the COVID returns impact on examination. Mr. Sandeep Kulshrestha, please.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to present my gratitude for inviting me and allow to present regarding COVID returns impact on examination. So many valuable points were delivered by my senior guest speaker. And here I would like to say that surge of COVID cases surge of COVID cases, maybe first wave, second wave, has created a huge hustle and bustle among education and related fields. You know, when COVID started, if we looking back at the late of 2019 and early of 2020, when this pandemic just hit the entire world. And at that time, it took, it took ample of duration. It took long time for people to adjust in it. And when short after, gradually we realized when the daily cases were declined, and accordingly when there is a subsequent increase in recoveries, then it had relaxed the entire human race, right? So my special sense of relief in such regard was observed among students and teachers, as because as the educational system was getting back on its track after a very long time. Because initially when Corona was started, when pandemic was started, it is very panic, it is very stressful, and it is very problem creating to all. But as soon as session pass and we adopt ourselves, teachers, students, when adopt ourselves regarding online education, you know, we all taking class, conducting class through Zoom, Google Meet, Google Classroom, and students and teachers when adapted regarding this, then, you know, as soon as session pass, and now it is exam environment everywhere, right? So, along with this, we all are witness that again COVID cases has seen a surge of late. And this increase in COVID cases is again very disappointing, because nowadays we are observing that this increase in COVID cases is very speedy as comparison to the first wave. So, you know, generally it is said that every coin has two sides. And that this COVID return has a dual impact on students. Dual impact means, you know, when earlier we are taking classes online through so many app or facilities, then it is bitter fact that so many students are not able to cope up with this online education system, right? So, short before, when we came to know that CBSE cancelled 10th class board examination, so definitely such type of students get benefit. But if we think about the student, so-called meritorious students or gifted students, they are in dilemma. They are having a big question mark. On what basis the result will declare? You know, this is a very big question mark, not in fact of certain type of students, but in fact for all. Because short before, my senior guest speaker said that this pandemic is a stressful condition for not only students, it is also for the parents. So, because in what condition parents make available make the mobile phones or make sure the availability of net Now exams were cancelled. So somehow it is a very dynamic situation. Some students taking it as a benefit, and some students are in dilemma. And secondly, class 12th exam were postponed. Postponement of any exam is further become a very long and lengthy process, because it definitely it affects the next coming schedule, because when an exam will postpone, when it will be rescheduled, when it will be finished, when result will declare, so many points arises, so many issues arises, and these issues are not will resolve very soon and smoothly. This I think. So cancellation and postponement of exam is very paining, because when exam postponed, some students are that are going for a competitive exam, that are going for any degree or diploma. What will be the coordination when the 12th class or degree class result will declare, and when they will join further when they will follow their future plan? Because no doubt NEET is postponed, no doubt other competitive exam also postponed, no doubt in degree colleges classes are not being held. But what will be the coordination level in between 12th class students and NEET exam and degree classes? So this equal coordination is a big problem after being declared that exam was cancelled or postponed. And sir, I would like to say that because of corona, there is a reduction in syllabus. This reduction in syllabus is because of corona, but it is really very it's really creating an adverse effect on students. Those are preparing for competitive exam, because when they go through for their competitive exam preparation, they have to put more effort on such certain topics that they are not clear in their regular classes. And I'm not criticizing. This is the demand of COVID situation, but the topic is COVID didn't impact on examination. Point. I'm not mentioned, but I'm general secretary of one NGO. So when I go to in slum area, when I go to so many people, they told Turkey, first we will fulfill our basic requirements, or we are supposed to provide the phones to our students. Short before this point also arises, and there are so many technical issues that arises. We have to. There is a great need to resolve them. And one thing more that I would like to say, that rescheduling or cancellation of exam is not the solution. Some alternate solution, like when whole of the year when we study online, so why don't we create a transparent online assessment system? And with this, because time is short,
Yeah.
so with this, I'm finishing my saying. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kulshrestha, for giving your views. And he says that this is going to create a problem for the coordination for the future exams of NEET and all other competitive exams. How it is going to be solved, that is a very big question, and that's why it is giving an anxiety movement to the students. Okay, thank you very much. Now, because of the paucity of time, I have only two minutes to you. I'm putting a simple question. You can answer the question, and you can, if you want to say something, but not more than 2 minutes. Now, my question goes to Dr. Ambrish Sharma. Dr. Ambrish Sharma, when this is the situation, when you also mentioned about the unemployability, or when they, why not declare 0 year? When the condition is such, when we don't know whether the students have studied or not, there is digital divide. When the rural area, 70% of the population is students, how many of them studied online in the last year? Declare 0 year. 0 year means that their age will not be added, and they will be qualified for the next year if COVID goes back. So what is your opinion about the 0 year? Dr. Ambrish Sharma, only 2 minutes, please.
Hello.
Yes, please,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
So 0 year for anyone, it doesn't make zero actually. And one important thing which I wish to talk about is there are many such cases where this online examination or online uh, imparting of education is not possible. In certain case, like a student of medical sciences, student of technical background, a student of design industry, or especially I'm talking about the beginners of design. So for those students, if they are not working in the workshop, although there are lot many automation happen, but this automation will not replace the manual work, or because of AI and machine learning, that makes a very great contribution. But these things will not replace the human creativity. So by making 0 year, that doesn't make a sense for this, and making zero will not be a solution. But as Principal Zad said, one thing is the continuous and comprehensive assessment system. Second, we also need to learn, or we need to identify certain new methods of examining of students through online mode,
Okay.
because this will be the new normal, or this will be the futuristic education pattern platform.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Now my question goes to Principal Jad. Principal Jad, you mentioned about this formative learning, and you mentioned that the child has to be assessed every time, whenever. It is very common in US. The children there, the students are online always, and they are studying, they are giving exams online, and there is no final exam as such in USA and other countries. And we know that in India, the problem is that we don't have the infrastructure. Whatsoever we say, we claim, but there is lots of digital divide. So why not take the online exam? One more problem which the people are facing, the students are facing, 1 year they are in the home. They have done only online things. You are asking them to come, because in one of my last media conference, one teacher said the problem is that how the child is going to write. I'm talking of the primary section schools. The children have forgotten to write. They know how to play, press the key. So all these things are there. Why not take the online exam? Might be some difficult for 10th standard also, 12th standard also, but don't, because it is going to impact very badly on the health and mental health, especially for the students. What you say about this, Principal Jad?
You see, our society as Indians, we have always been a good example of being resilient. And whenever the challenges have come in front of us, we have taken it by horns. And we have never succumbed to any of the challenges. As they rightly say, with every challenge, there is an opportunity. So let us better look towards the opportunities than waste time on, worrying about challenges. As far this online examination goes, it will take time. It cannot happen overnight, because it needs the improvement in the more than infrastructure. I think what is more important is to change the mindset of people, because you see, our Indian society is a classical example of examination oriented society. We believe that we all and all of life is examination, and the only parameter to know a person, to judge a person, to assess a person, a student, is his examination result. He may be multi-talented, but if he has second class in graduation, he is a gone case. That is very unfortunate. So I think this our examination pattern, our education has to be more based on critical thinking and problem solving, which never comes with one annual exam. It's a continuous assessment. You expose children to umpteen number of activities. Thousands of activities there, online, offline, assessments, research work. That's why you see yourself, as you rightly said, US and European countries, they never have this 3-hour exam. And most of the Nobel Prize winners are from these countries. And we have Every child, right from age of 3 to, I don't know, infinity, he has to appear umpteen exams, but no Nobel Prize. And our engineers are highly unemployed and not at all employable. So I think if we focus our this thing, if we go shift towards more creative way of assessing students, whether online or offline, but we have to create that ecosystem where we can assess students online also. There's no harm in that. But I think the paradigm has to be shifted. It cannot be rote learning as a traditional method if we really want to have a solid and very result-oriented examination pattern and evaluation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Principal Jad. Now my question goes to Dr. C.K. Manjunath. Dr. C.K. Manjunath, this pandemic, COVID-19 hit India in somewhere in January, or you say the March, when all the classes were suspended. What lesson we have learned? Nothing. Once September passed, October, with the cases have started declining, we again became the routine thing. We have not learned anything. If we would have learned the lesson like Principal Jad and Dr. Sharma has mentioned, or you even mentioned, we should have developed. After all, we have lots of brains. To develop those types of apps or those types of things is not a difficult thing. Today, I will tell you with proud, our vaccination app is to be followed by the other countries because we have developed that thing. We have those types of engineers, we have talent. Why we have not learned in the education? Why we are again talking about these things? We don't know. It may go September, October, November, December. And again, the next year, the same thing once it is open. What do you say about this, Dr. Manjunath?
On a lighter note, I learned quite well eating various kinds of food during the lockdown period. And whatever good or bad that was cooked at home, I enjoyed eating it.
And on the lighter note, I'm sure that you might be contributed more for cooking during that time.
That is what I wanted to say. The learning process happened so well at kitchen also. One right question that you have raised is, yes, about the mindset here. See, I just want to have the word clarification between two things here, as Mr. Jad and other speakers also added it up. Honesty and dishonesty in the mind. We have two lines over there, and that need to be bifurcated clearly. Honesty and dishonesty. Why are we not honest towards taking up the learning process? And why do we have the word of dishonesty in various other parameters? This is number one. Number two is about, as I said, the learning patterns that we have adopted. See, if this can be checked systematically, I don't think there is any issue related to the mode of learning process or its end result. Probably somewhere we have not benchmarked ourselves with respect to how should I learn, what should I learn, to what extent I must learn. I was very happy when Professor Jayat and Sharma sir, even to some extent all of us, today we added up one term like child is not taken care here. Child's understanding level is not taken care here. His outcome levels are not taken care here. It is only the assessment part we all are bent upon. See, that is the reason, see, we have failed in this process. Even the app which you talk about, see, how many of us, we really know what is Arogya Setu, why it exists. See, there are beautiful ads that have come in the TV, but unfortunately, we are not able to expose that information to our kids. We are not able to disseminate it properly. So now nobody knows about it. So I don't know, why should I go with it? Why should I have Arogya Setu in my mobile, this thing? Say, I better have other apps buying online materials rather than having Arogya Setu, because I don't know what is it going to do for me. Okay. So when we have this kind of outcomes, okay, ultimately the results also will become ineffective. So sir, I really feel that we need to be honest in learning. We need to remove the concept of dishonest in understanding the practice. If these things are made very clear, I think the results.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Manjunath. Now my question goes to Sandeep, Mr. Sandeep Kulshe. Question means, what are your suggestions? Everybody has given their views, very heavy duty views. What are your suggestions? What you want to suggest in one line to the government and one line to the parents and one line to the students?
I just would like, because I'm basically a biology teacher, and in biology there is some adaptation. And when a body will adapt according to the present scenario, then it can survive better. So I would like to say that we have to adapt ourselves according to the system or according to the requirement. And this is what the key formula to survive in a better way.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Sandeep Kulshrestha. So today you have seen the expert opinions, those who are leaders in their field, their opinions, the COVID returns impact on examination, and they have very, very clearly says that yes, this what has happened is going to impact the students, but they have also giving a very, very valid and good suggestions that when we can do it regular basis online, why not? We must assess the child on regular basis in spite of only 3 hours examination, and we are labeling the child, you are a first divisioner or a second divisioner. We are not thinking about the aptitude of the child. So examination every day is the concept which should be followed by all the universities, by everything, which I'm sure the new policy, the National Education Policy 2020 also talks, but we are still not geared up, neither the infrastructure nor mentally. And one of the panelists says the honesty. So when we are not honest for our learnings, how we are going to cope up, and we are playing with the life of our new generation, our own children. So civil society should also think, try not to put that much pressure to their own child. After all, the future of the child, it's not their fault if the pandemic has come. So thank you very much for joining us. And I'm sure that today's program is very much enlightening. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, Newsgaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well as shown live on Facebook. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day a new topic. And tomorrow our topic is COVID returns impact on teachers. And we are going to have 4 different teachers and those expert in this field. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goyal at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Dr. Ambrish Sharma. Thank you very much, Principal KB Jad. Thank you very much, Dr. C.K. Manjunath. And thank you very much, Mr. Sandeep Kulshrestha, for enlightening us and giving a very, very positive message, especially to the students. I'm sure the students will get some relief and try to not be mentally depressed by postponement or cancellation of examination. Either they should feel happy. After all, they have to be ready for their future. Thank you very much. And thank you all the viewers for viewing our program. Thank you very much.